Hello everyone. So we'll continue the topic of sterilization. There are several methods of sterilization of fermentation medium. So as we have discussed earlier that steam is used universally for the sterilization of medium due to high penetration power. But in case if it contains any heat sensitive component, then that heat sensitive component it may be sterilized by filtration separately, and then it can be added to the fermentation medium after the sterilization of medium and cooling of the medium. So that way is also possible. There are two ways of steam sterilization: batch sterilization and continuous sterilization. We discuss both one by one. In both the types of sterilization, Dale factor plays a very important role. Dale factor, as we have learned earlier, is very important in the scale up studies. Scale up means to increase the scale, increasing the scale of fermentation from small scale to large scale. When we go from small scale to large scale, volume increases, the volume of the medium increases, and therefore we need to redesign the process of sterilization, that is to decide the time temperature relationship that we'll be studying later on. But to understand that Dale factor is very important, and therefore it is called as the criterion for the scale up of batch and continuous sterilization, that we'll learn later on exactly how it is used. Now there are several advantages and disadvantages of continuous sterilization and batch sterilization. Advantages of continuous sterilization over batch sterilization. Now the basic difference between batch sterilization and continuous sterilization is batch sterilization, the limitation is volume, means a particular volume of medium is sterilized at a definite temperature for a definite period. Whereas in continuous sterilization, the volume is not the limitation. The medium is continuously entering from one end into into the sterilization coil, and it is then exposed to desirable temperature for desirable time, and it is instantly cooled from the other end and recovered. So it is a continuous process that we learn in the later slides. These are the basic differences between batch and continuous. For example, autoclaving that we do in our laboratory, it is a part of batch sterilization. There are advantages of continuous sterilization over batch sterilization. The advantage is that if we follow continuous sterilization process, then there is superior maintenance of medium quality. This means that batch sterilization may lead to degradation of nutrients, whereas in continuous sterilization, degradation of nutrients can be avoided. This means that in continuous sterilization, due to use of very high temperature, that is above 121 degrees Celsius, the time of exposure it is reduced. So the time of exposure of medium to high temperature it is reduced, and therefore the degradation chances of degradation of nutrients it decreases. whereas in case of batch sterilization, it is the use of high temperature above 121 degrees Celsius is not possible. Also, in case of continuous sterilization, there is instant heating and instant cooling, whereas in case of therefore the medium remains exposed to high temperature for definite period of time or whatever the desirable time is there, but that does not happen in case of batch sterilization. In case of batch sterilization, the heating process is gradual, then there is holding period, and then there is a cooling period. Therefore, the medium remains exposed to high temperature during holding period as well as during heating up period and cooling down period. So it is like this. If this is a graph of temperature versus time, temperature versus time. So if the medium is exposed to the temperature to the sterilization, then what happens during batch sterilization is that the temperature increases along with time, then it will reach to a definite temperature. Say for example, this is 121 degrees Celsius. Then the medium remains exposed to that for a particular period of time, and then the temperature decreases like this. Here what we see is a lot of time is required for the for a long period of time the medium remains exposed to the temperature during heating up period and cooling down period. This is called as holding period. So heating up period, holding time, and cooling time. So for these three durations, the medium remains exposed to temperature during batch sterilization. Now let us see what happens during continuous sterilization. During continuous sterilization, the time required for reaching the 121 degrees Celsius, say for example, is very short than the desirable holding period and then cooling down period. What difference do you see here? A very short heating period, then holding period, and a very short cooling down period. This is how this leads to the decreased exposure of medium to very high temperature, and therefore it leads to superior maintenance of medium quality. So the next one is simplicity of scale up studies. Now this advantage we'll learn more about this when we go for the topic of scale up of sterilization. So here what we have to understand is scale up studies of continuous sterilization is very easy as compared to batch sterilization, because in case of batch sterilization during scale up, as the scale increases the volume of the medium increases, and therefore the Dale factor to be achieved, it leads to the increase in holding time that we'll learn in the next topic of scale up of sterilization. Third one is easier automatic control. In case of continuous sterilization, the control is very easy as compared to batch sterilization process. In continuous sterilization, there is decrease in sterilization cycle time. Sterilization cycle, it involves heating up period, holding period, and cooling down period, as we have learned in the earlier graph. So this cycle is very short in case of continuous sterilization, and it is little longer in case of batch sterilization. In some cases, the reduction of fermenters corrosion. So in case of batch sterilization, if batch sterilization is done in fermenter itself, then the certain media components may react with the wall of fermenter at high temperature. It may cause the corrosion and damage to the fermentation vessel. There are advantages of batch sterilization over continuous sterilization as well. These advantages are lesser principal equipment cost. So the cost of batch sterilization is less, lower risk of contamination, as continuous sterilization process requires the transfer of sterile broth to sterile vessel through pipes aseptically. So therefore there may be a danger of contamination. Next, easier manual control in case of batch sterilization. These are the advantages and disadvantages that you need to remember in relation to continuous sterilization and batch sterilization. One more, in case of batch sterilization, easier to sterilize concentrated medium. This is very important. The medium can be sterilized in concentrated form or media containing a high proportion of solid matter, because in continuous sterilization the flow of the medium, it limits the concentration of medium, and it limits the sterilization of viscous medium with a high percentage of solid matter. So that is not the limitation in case of batch sterilization. Now let us see in detail batch sterilization process. The design of batch sterilization. This is very important in order to understand the scale up of sterilization. So you need to concentrate on this part in order to understand the scale up of batch sterilization. As we have learned that sterilization cycle, it consists of heating up period, holding period, and cooling down period. So these three are very important, and in order to design the batch sterilization process, what is required is the following information. First one is a profile of increase and decrease in temperature of fermentation medium during heating up period and cooling down periods of sterilization cycle. Why heating up period and cooling down periods are important? Because during heating up period the temperature increases gradually, and during that time also the microorganisms are killed. It is not that microorganisms are killed only during holding period, but the destruction starts from heating up period, it continues to holding period, and it also continues in cooling period as well. The number of microbes present in unsterile broth, that means the value of N0, initial number of microbes present in unsterile broth. And third one is the normal death characteristics of design organism. Like we have seen in last lecture, design organism, the most heat resistant contaminant of the fermentation system. That is, for example, in most of the cases, it is Bacillus stereothermophilus. So the death characteristics of that Bacillus stereothermophilus, that is the thermal death curve. That means its K value at different temperatures, specific death rate, that is K value at different temperatures, at 121 degrees Celsius, at 125 degrees Celsius, at 130 degrees Celsius, etc., etc., has to be known. So if we know these three, then batch sterilization, designing of batch sterilization is possible. Let us understand the process of designing batch sterilization with the help of one example. This example, in this example, let us consider the original number of organisms present in unsterile broth are 10 raised to 11 viable organisms. This is the value of N0. Then, as we have learned, the value of NT has to be considered in the form of risk of contamination. It is never considered as 0. It is considered as 0.1, 0.01, 0.001, etc. In this example, if the risk of contamination, acceptable contamination, is considered as 1 in 1000, that means there are chances of contamination of 1 batches out of 1000. That is the risk of contamination. Then it will be 1 by 1000. 1 by 1000 is 10 raised to minus 3. So here we'll consider the value of NT equals to 10 raised to minus 3. So we know the value of N0, 10 raised to 11, and now we know we have considered the value of NT, 10 raised to minus 3. Then we can calculate the value of Dale factor. The highest temperature used in batch sterilization is 121 degrees Celsius. So sterilization temperature is fixed 121 degrees Celsius. So we have this information, and based on this information, now we have to decide the holding time. Now we have the temperature. What we have to decide is what should be the holding time in order to kill 10 raised to 11 viable cells. So as we have learned in the last lecture, recall that formula of Dale factor. Dale factor is equal to natural log of N0 by Nt. Now we'll put the values here. You can do it yourself on a paper while listening to this lecture also. That is highly recommended in order to understand the things, because all these are the calculations cannot be understood just by theoretical description. So I want you to take a notebook along with you in order to and write down all these things, formulas. Like also in the last lecture also, you need a notebook in order to do the follow-up or rehearsal. So Dale factor, will put the values here. Dale factor equals to log of N0 is 10 raised to 11 and NT is 10 raised to 3. So it will be natural log of 10 raised to 14. Now we'll convert that natural log to log to the base 10. When we convert that ln to log to the base 10, then there will be a multiplication factor of 2.303. So this 2.303 into 14, the value will be 32.2. So this is how now we have calculated the overall Dale factor required is 32.2 to kill 10 raised to 11 viable cells. Now we'll use this del factor to calculate the holding time. That means for how much period of time your medium containing 10 raised to 11 cells should remain exposed to 121 degrees Celsius to get rid of 10 raised to 11 cells. That is what we are calculating. So the overall del factor is 32.2, but we need to consider one thing here, that sterilization cycle, it consists of heating, holding and cooling, and this means that the destruction of microorganisms occurs at heating as well as cooling period. Therefore, we need to consider the contribution made by heating period and cooling period, not only the holding period. Therefore, we need to calculate del factor during heating up period and del factor during cooling down period. So the overall del factor will be represented as del heating plus del cooling plus del holding. That will be del overall. So knowing the time temperature profile for the heating and cooling of the broth, it is possible to determine the contribution made to the overall del factor by these periods. Now the difficulty in determining del heating is that del holding we have calculated, because during del holding the temperature is fixed, it is 121 degrees Celsius. But the problem during calculating del heating is that temperature is not fixed, it is gradually increasing. Same thing happens in case of del cooling. The temperature is not fixed, it is gradually decreasing. So in order to calculate del heating and del cooling, there are going to be several values of del during heating, del 1, del 2, del 3, del 4 and so on. There will be several values of del during cooling, del 1, del 2, del 3, del 3, del 4, del 5 and so on. So in order to calculate all these del values during heating period, we need a time temperature profile of heating and cooling of broth. For the calculation of del heating and del cooling, a graphical method of integration is used, that is temperature time profile. So let us see what is this graphical method of integration. The time temperature profile during heating period is shown in the next figure. The x-axis is time axis and y-axis is temperature. So the time axis, it is divided into a number of equal increments like T1, T2, T3, T4, etc. like this. This is the time temperature profile during heating up period of sterilization cycle. You can see x-axis is time and that time is divided into equal increments like T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. So all these increments are equal. Y-axis is temperature. So if the fermentation medium is there and then that fermentation medium is heated, so the temperature will increase gradually as it is shown in the curve. You can see that curve, the red line. This is the curve that is obtained. So the temperature of the fermentation medium, it increases gradually. So this is the time temperature profile for heating up period. Now the next part is how to calculate Dale factor. Then for each time increment, say for example T1, the midpoint temperature for T1 is recorded as shown in the figure. Can you see? This is T1, midpoint T1, and the corresponding temperature on y-axis. This temperature is recorded, the midpoint temperature. So this is recorded for T2, midpoint T2 and the corresponding temperature, like this, and so on and so forth. For each time increment, midpoint time and its corresponding temperature is recorded or it is considered. Now you have T, value of T, and you have value of temperature. Now what you need to have is see the formula of Dale factor. It is Dale factor is equal to minus KT. So now here you know T, you need to know the value of K. K is specific death rate at that particular temperature. Now you know the temperature also here, the midpoint temperature. So specific death rate of that particular organism at this temperature can be calculated by specific death rate curve that we have learned in the last lecture. So from that we know the value of K at this particular temperature. So likewise, these are the temperatures which are to be recorded for each time increment. And then you can calculate the formula, Dale factor. Dale 1 will be equal to K1T. K1 is the specific death rate at this particular temperature and time. Likewise, you can calculate it for T2. What will be that? Del 2 equal to K2 into T. In this case, the time intervals are same, so the value of T will be same. Only there will be different values of K. So this is the specific death rate of that Bacillus styrothermophilus, say for example at this particular temperature, which is marked by arrow. This is how, using the different values of K, we can calculate del 3, del 4, del 5 and del 6. So now you have total Dale factor of heating up period. It will be equal to the sum of Dale factors of midpoint temperatures for each time increment. Del 1 plus del 2 plus del 3 plus del 4 plus del 5 plus del 6. It will be total Dale heating. Using the similar graph for cooling down period, we can calculate the Dale factor for the cooling down period using the same approach, using same time temperature profile. So it will be called as Dale cooling. Now we have Dale heating and Dale cooling. After the determination of all these Dale factors, so now the equation will be So we'll rearrange that equation. What was that equation? Del overall equals to del heating plus del holding plus del cooling. Now we'll rearrange this equation for del holding. So the equation will be del holding equals to del overall minus del heating minus del cooling. So there is a mistake here. This has to be del minus del cooling. This means that we are considering the contribution made by heating up period and cooling down period in the kiln. So that contribution, it has to be subtracted from del overall. So there is a mistake here. So it has to be del cooling. There should be a minus mark here. Okay. So as the overall del factor is 32.2, I hope you are writing on the paper also. And if it is taken that the del heating is 9.8, let us consider that del heating is calculated as 9.8 and del cooling is calculated as 10.1. Then we can calculate the del holding equals to 32.2 minus 9.8 minus 10.1. Here it is written correctly. It has to be minus del cooling. So finally the del holding will be 12.3. Now we'll use this value of del holding for the calculation of holding time. Now we have the formula, that is del equals to kt. So what is this k? The specific death rate. Now we have to consider the sterilization temperature here, the holding. Now we are calculating del holding. So what is that holding temperature? It is 121 degrees Celsius. So using that thermal death curve of Bacillus stereothermophilus, we come to know that the specific death rate of Bacillus stereothermophilus at 121 degrees Celsius is 2.54 per minute. So that is the value of K at 121 degrees Celsius for Bacillus stereothermophilus. So now we can calculate, we have the formula del holding is equal to Kt. That is, we'll rearrange this equation for T. T will be equal to del holding divided by K. Now we have the value of del holding, we have the value of K. So let us substitute these values. The value of del holding is 12.3 and K is 2.54. So finally the answer will be 4.84 minutes. What is this value? This is the value of T. T is the holding time. This means that we need to expose the fermentation medium to 121 degrees Celsius for 4.84 minutes only. That is how we have designed a procedure for batch sterilization process. The temperature is 121 degrees Celsius. The holding time is 4.84 minutes. Therefore, the calculated holding time will be only 4.84 minutes. Now let us consider a situation in which we don't consider the contribution of del heating and del cooling, and directly we rely on the value of del overall. That is, overall del factor required is 32.2, and if you take that value directly for the calculation of holding time, let us see what happens. That means here we are not considering Dell heating, Dell cooling. We are not considering the contribution made by heating and cooling in relation to the destruction of microorganisms. We are only considering that the destruction happens only during holding period. Let us see what happens. So the same formula, T is equal to del overall. Why we are considering del overall? As I said, we are not considering the contribution of del heating and del cooling. So del overall divided by K. So it will be 32.2 divided by 2.54. The value is 12.68. Three times bigger than the actual value. So earlier it was 4.84. Now, without considering the contributions of heating and cooling, the value is 12.68 minutes. What does it mean? It means that now you need to expose your medium to 121 degrees Celsius for 12.68 minutes. What will happen? Degradation of nutrients. That means your medium is getting exposed to 121 degrees Celsius for a much more period, and that leads to unnecessary exposure. This unnecessary exposure is beyond the time required for killing, which leads to degradation of nutrients, which leads to decrease in the quality of medium. Therefore, it is very essential to consider the contributions of Dell heating and Dell cooling. So this is how the design of batch sterilization is done, considering heating period, holding period, and cooling down periods. So that is why we have learned the disadvantage of batch sterilization is nutrient quality is maintenance of nutrient quality is poor. That is due to the unnecessary exposure. So that unnecessary exposure, it can be avoided by this way. Therefore, by considering the contribution made to the sterilization process by heating and cooling parts of cycle, a considerable reduction in exposure time is achieved. This also aids in protection of medium from degradation and preservation of nutritional quality, as we have learned. Now, there are methods of sterilization, batch sterilization, what we experience in the laboratory and in fermentation. So the first method is sterilization in the fermentation vessel itself. So medium is poured into the fermentation vessel, and then itself in the fermentation vessel the medium is sterilized. But the disadvantage is corrosion of fermentation wall. It may happen, or it is dependent on the composition of fermentation medium. Second method is in sterilization in a separate cooker. So there are separate cookers, just like autoclave, we can say autoclave. One cooker, the advantage is that one cooker, it may be used to serve several fermenters. That means the in cooker the sterilization is done, and then the medium is transported to fermentation vessel. So this also saves a lot of time between the fermentation. So fermentation vessel is not engaged during sterilization. Sterilization in cooker is possible in more concentrated form, which is a limitation in fermenter because there may be corrosion. And if the cooker serves a large number of fermenters, it needs complex pipe work. And if there are pipe works, there may be a risk of contamination. That is the limitation of batch sterilization.